Hi everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I've got a really fun project for you today. Take a look at this quilt behind me. Isn't this great? This is our Love Note star. We used our Love Note block to create a star. You can see it right here. You follow, here's the legs in and out, and it makes this darling little star right here. I mean, it's just so cute. You add the four corners to it and it makes this great little secondary block up here. Just a really great quilt. So let me show you how to make this. So to make this quilt, what you're going to need are 4 packets of 5-inch squares, and we've used Meadow Bloom by April Rosenthal of Prairie Grass Patterns for Moda. And I mean, just you can see it's just a darling line, really cute, really happy. You're going to need 4 packs of those, and you're going to need 4 packs of white as well. You're also going to need some sashing. We've got some sashing in here and some cornerstone blocks. For those cornerstone blocks, you're going to need a ½ yard, and for your sashing, you're going to need 2 yards. So, and that brings us up to the border. The border is it's a 5-inch border, and you're going to need 1.5 yards. So it's just a darling, darling little quilt. So let me show you how to make this. Today we're going to make this out of half square triangles, and this is the way I like to do them. So you're going to take one of your squares and a white square. You're going to put them right sides together. Make sure they're all lined up, and we are going to sew 1/4 inch all the way around the outside edge. So let's go do that. So line up your presser foot with the edge. Make sure your needle is set at 1/4, and we're just going to sew around. People ask me all the time, can I sew off, or do I stop and pivot? You just do what you want to do. Whatever works best for you. If I'm going fast enough, I sew right off the edge. All right, this is such an easy way to make half square triangles. I just love it. All right, and just that quick, we're done. Now we're going to take this and we're going to cut it diagonally both directions. So you want to lay your block and put your ruler on corner to corner, and I'm actually going to turn this so I can do it both directions here. So here's your corner to corner. One of the things people ask me about is the little peaks on the edges of the pre-cuts. Just treat those like a straight edge. They're measured from the outside of the peak to the outside of the peak. So you just want to treat those as a straight edge. And you can see we've cut diagonally both directions. Now we have 4 little triangles, which when we open up are our half square triangles. So let's press those open. I like to lay them so the dark color is up. Then I can just touch them with the iron. It sets that seam. And then we're almost there. There we go. All right, so now we're going to assemble these in our You've Got Mail block. And we're going to put 3 together like this. So 3 goes together, and then 1 goes out, just like that. We're going to put this together like a 4 patch. So I'm going to sew these 2 together right here, and these 2 together right here, and then put my 2 blocks together. So let's go do that. Now, a lot of times people will ask me too on this about squaring your blocks. Here's my problem with squaring. If you square 1, you have to square them all. So you know, I try not to square. If your 1/4 inch seam is right on and your cutting is accurate, your blocks should be the same size. So if you're having blocks that come out different sizes, check your seam allowance and check your cutting. So now I have these 2 blocks right here, and I have these 2 blocks right here, and we're just going to sew those together like that. We're gonna get started on here. I like to sew a few stitches, anchor it down, then match up my middle seams. And I just hold them so that I can feel that there's no space in between. And quick as that, we've got our little You've Got Mail block. So let me press this open so you can see it. Give it a shot of steam. And there we have it. Now to make our star block, what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 of these, and I have a couple of them that are already done over here. And we are going to sew them together so that our star legs, you know, we'll have a white square in the middle and the star legs point out. We've got these 2 already sewn. So I'm going to sew these 2 blocks together right here, and then we'll add them to this other block to make a whole block. So here we go. And again, you want to, oh, hang on, I got something happening here. There we go. Let me see if I can get that going again. There we go. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and sew down this side. Make sure our little seams are lined up. There we go, and we'll press this seam open, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and press this other block as well. And then we get to add them together. So there's our block right there. We're going to put them right sides together and stitch them together. Now, this is a good thing to note when you're sewing these together is that you want to match every little seam, and that's going to keep your block really straight. So just make sure they're lined up as they go along. You can put a pin where they intersect if you want to hold them. I can actually feel with my fingers whether they're lined up or not. So I call that nesting. They've nested right into each other. And we've got our whole block. So you're going to make 42 of these blocks. And it's going to give you a quilt that is 82 by 94, a nice big quilt. One of the things that helps add to it is our little sashing blocks. And so let me show you how we lay those out. Whenever you put sashing in with a cornerstone, your sashing strip should be the same size as your block. So if your block is, my block is, let's see, my block is 11.5, it looks like. Yep. So 11.5, 11.25, something like that. That'll depend on your seam allowance. Then what we're going to do is whatever your block measures, you're going to cut your strip that size. So it's going to go in between like this. So you're going to lay out your rows. You're going to attach a strip to each block and put them together. So I just wanted to show you how I sew these sashings on here. What I do is I bring my stack of sashings that are cut to length over to my sewing machine, and I lay them on top of the block, and I just sew them down. And I'm, again, it's the assembly line sewing. I'm just going to sew those along here, and I'm gonna chain piece them through here. So there's one, and I'm just going to keep adding them always to the right-hand side of the block, like this. So this is just a really quick way to get all your sashing on. You're going to go ahead and do that to your blocks, and as you start putting your rows together, let me just show you. Let me iron one of these open. Well, we'll just go ahead and press them all. Here we go. So once you get all your sashings on, you're ready to lay out. And it just makes it really easy because you can put them together, and you're going to then you just sew up your block, your raw side of your block to your sashing. You're going to put your rows across like this. On our quilt back here, you can see we have 6 across the top and 7 down. And so it just goes together really quick. When you're ready for your next row of sashing, it's this same sashing bar like this with a little cornerstone. And so you're just going to sew those pieces together, the number of blocks you have, which is 6. And you're going to sew your little sashing pieces in here like that. And just take your 1/4-inch seam, lay the little block right sides together, and do that. And you're going to add row after row after row. So let me show you how this is going to match up down here, because that'll be fun for you to see. So I'm going to take this one over here, just like that. And you see how this makes a sashing row then? So you're going to go ahead and add this row in. You'll sew your blocks together as a row, then you'll sew a sashing row together, then your blocks together as a row, and you'll just do that for the whole thing, and it goes together really quick and easy. So we really hoped you enjoyed this tutorial on the Love Note Star from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. No, I like chest hair. Hi everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri. Yeah, that can't go on a tape.